Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. If you're dealing with tingling, burning, numbness, pins and needles, or weakness in your hands or feet, I want you to listen very carefully, because what I'm about to share with you today is one of the most overlooked causes of nerve damage, and most people are consuming it every single day without realizing what it's doing to their nervous system. The worst toxin harming your nerves and silently driving neuropathy is excess sugar. Not just candy or desserts, but refined carbohydrates, sweetened drinks, breads, cereals, sauces, and even so-called healthy foods that spike blood sugar over and over again. Here's why this matters. Your nerves are extremely sensitive tissues. They depend on stable blood sugar, oxygen, and proper nutrient delivery. When sugar levels stay elevated, it creates a toxic environment inside your body. This process is known as glycation. Excess sugar is not just a harmless pleasure or a simple calorie problem. It is one of the most destructive toxins quietly attacking your nervous system every single day. And most people have no idea it's happening until the damage is already done. Every sip of a sweetened drink, every slice of white bread, every bowl of refined cereal triggers a biochemical chain reaction that your nerves feel immediately, even if you don't. Inside your body, sugar doesn't politely wait to be burned for energy. It floods your bloodstream, spikes insulin, and sets off a storm of inflammation that your delicate nerve cells were never designed to survive long term. Your nerves are living wires. They rely on steady blood flow, oxygen, and precise chemical signaling to function. When sugar levels surge repeatedly, those wires begin to fray. Research shows that high blood glucose increases oxidative stress, producing free radicals that directly injure nerve endings. These free radicals punch microscopic holes in nerve cell membranes, weakening their ability to transmit signals. This is why the earliest signs of nerve damage often feel subtle: slight tingling, mild numbness, an occasional burning sensation, until one day it becomes constant and impossible to ignore. One of the most dangerous processes triggered by excess sugar is glycation. Sugar molecules bind to proteins and fats in your body, forming toxic compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs accumulate in nerve tissue and blood vessels like rust on metal. Studies have shown that AGEs stiffen blood vessels, reducing circulation to nerves, while simultaneously inflaming the nerves themselves. This double assault starves nerves of oxygen while poisoning them at the cellular level. It's a slow burn, but it's relentless. What makes this even more alarming is that you don't need to be diagnosed with diabetes for this damage to occur. Scientific evidence shows that repeated blood sugar spikes, even within ranges many doctors still consider normal, can gradually destroy the myelin sheath, the protective insulation around your nerves. When myelin breaks down, nerve signals misfire. Messages from your brain arrive late, distorted, or not at all. That's when people begin to feel pins and needles, electric shocks, burning pain, or unexplained weakness in their feet and hands. In fact, neuropathy often starts years before blood tests raise red flags. Autopsy studies and nerve conduction research reveal that nerve damage can be present long before diabetes is officially diagnosed. Sugar is working behind the scenes, silently eroding nerve health while symptoms are dismissed as aging, poor circulation, or stress. By the time pain becomes severe, the damage has often been building for a decade or more. Excess sugar also interferes with the tiny blood vessels that feed your nerves, known as the vasa nervorum. These vessels are incredibly sensitive to inflammation. Elevated glucose thickens their walls, narrows their openings, and reduces blood flow. Less blood means fewer nutrients, less oxygen, and slower repair. This is why neuropathy frequently begins in the feet, the longest nerves in the body, and the ones most vulnerable to reduced circulation. And here's a shocking fact most people never hear. Nerve pain caused by sugar is not just about pain. It increases the risk of falls, infections, and even amputations. Loss of sensation means injuries go unnoticed. Cuts don't heal properly. Infections spread. What begins as a dietary habit can end in life-altering consequences. Sugar also disrupts vitamin absorption, particularly B vitamins that are essential for nerve repair and function. High glucose levels increase urinary loss of B1, B6, and B12, nutrients your nerves depend on to regenerate and transmit signals. So, not only is sugar directly damaging nerves, it's robbing them of the very tools they need to heal. Perhaps most disturbing is how normalized this toxin has become. Sugar is hidden in foods marketed as healthy: salad dressings, yogurts, energy bars, sauces, and even savory snacks. The average person consumes far more sugar than the nervous system can tolerate, day after day, year after year. This constant exposure keeps nerves locked in a state of chronic inflammation, preventing recovery and accelerating degeneration. Scientific studies consistently show that when blood sugar is stabilized, nerve pain often improves. In clinical trials, patients who reduce sugar intake experience less burning, reduced numbness, and improved nerve conduction velocity. This tells us something critical. Sugar damage is not always permanent, but continued exposure makes it so. Your nervous system is incredibly intelligent, but it is not invincible. It responds to the environment you create inside your body. When sugar dominates that environment, nerves suffer in silence until they can no longer cope. But when sugar is reduced, inflammation calms, circulation improves, and nerves finally have a chance to repair. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. Sugar is not just affecting your waistline or your energy levels. It is reshaping your nervous system at a microscopic level right now. Every choice you make either feeds nerve inflammation or supports nerve survival. The most powerful step toward protecting your nerves is removing the toxin that's harming them. When you understand that excess sugar is not a treat but a trigger, everything changes. Your body begins to heal when the assault stops. And your nerves, quiet, resilient, and remarkably adaptive, start to recover when you finally give them the chance. Turmeric is not just a spice sitting quietly on a kitchen shelf. It is one of the most powerful neuroprotective compounds ever studied, and modern science is now confirming what ancient medicine understood thousands of years ago. Inside turmeric lives a compound called curcumin, and this single molecule has been shown in laboratory and human studies to protect nerve cells, calm nerve pain, and even support nerve regeneration in ways that few natural substances can match. Nerve damage is driven by three destructive forces: chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and poor circulation. Curcumin targets all three at the same time. That alone makes it extraordinary. When nerves are inflamed, they fire pain signals excessively, even when no real danger is present. Curcumin has been shown to inhibit inflammatory pathways such as NF-κB and COX-2, the same pathways targeted by many anti-inflammatory drugs, but without the long-term side effects that medications often bring. This is why people using turmeric consistently often describe a deep, calming reduction in burning, stabbing, or electric nerve pain rather than just temporary relief. Oxidative stress is another silent killer of nerves. Excess free radicals attack nerve membranes and damage mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside nerve cells that keep them alive. Studies show that curcumin is a potent antioxidant capable of neutralizing free radicals before they can destroy nerve tissue. In animal models of neuropathy, curcumin supplementation significantly reduced nerve degeneration and preserved nerve structure, even under conditions of high blood sugar and inflammation. That means turmeric doesn't just mask symptoms, it helps protect the nerve itself. One of the most shocking findings in nerve research is that curcumin can influence neuroplasticity, the nervous system's ability to adapt and repair. Research shows curcumin increases levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein essential for nerve growth, survival, and repair. Low BDNF levels are associated with neuropathy, chronic pain, and nerve degeneration. By supporting BDNF, curcumin creates an internal environment where damaged nerves have a better chance to heal rather than continue deteriorating. Blood flow is another critical factor in nerve health, and this is where turmeric quietly excels. Nerves are only as healthy as the blood supply that feeds them. Curcumin improves endothelial function, allowing blood vessels to relax and deliver more oxygen and nutrients to nerve tissue. Better circulation means less numbness, warmer hands and feet, and faster recovery from nerve irritation. This is especially important for people with sugar-related nerve damage, where tiny blood vessels are often compromised. Curcumin also plays a powerful role in stabilizing blood sugar, which directly reduces ongoing nerve injury. Multiple studies show curcumin improves insulin sensitivity and reduces glucose spikes after meals. This means turmeric doesn't just protect nerves from inflammation, it helps remove the very trigger that causes nerve damage in the first place. Lower blood sugar means fewer glycation end products, less oxidative stress, and a calmer nervous system overall. Perhaps one of the most compelling facts is that curcumin has been shown to modulate pain perception itself. It interacts with neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which influence how pain is processed in the brain. This explains why people using turmeric often report not just less pain, but a greater sense of calm and control over their symptoms. Pain becomes quieter, less dominant, and less exhausting. However, turmeric's power depends entirely on how it's used. On its own, curcumin is poorly absorbed. Studies show that without proper support, most of it passes through the body unused. This is where black pepper becomes essential. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. This is not a small improvement. It is the difference between turmeric being mildly helpful and profoundly therapeutic. Healthy fats also matter. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it absorbs far better when taken with oils, such as olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado. This is why traditional cultures always combine turmeric with fats in cooking. Science is now catching up to that wisdom. What makes turmeric especially powerful is its cumulative effect. Unlike painkillers that wear off, curcumin works gradually, strengthening nerve defenses day after day. Research shows that consistent use over weeks to months leads to measurable improvements in nerve conduction, reduced inflammatory markers, and improved sensory function. This slow, steady healing is exactly how nerves recover best. Another often overlooked benefit is turmeric's effect on the immune system. Autoimmune-related nerve inflammation is a growing cause of neuropathy. Curcumin has been shown to regulate immune responses, preventing immune cells from attacking nerve tissue unnecessarily. This immune balancing effect further reduces nerve irritation and long-term damage. The most powerful truth about turmeric is this: it doesn't force the body to do anything unnatural. It supports the body's own repair mechanisms. It calms what is overactive, strengthens what is weak, and protects what is vulnerable. That is why it works across so many different types of nerve damage, from sugar-related neuropathy to inflammatory nerve pain. Your nerves are constantly listening to the signals you send them through your daily choices. When you introduce turmeric correctly and consistently, you are sending a message of protection, nourishment, and healing. You are telling your nervous system that the environment has changed, that the threat has been reduced, and that repair is now possible. This is not an overnight miracle, but it is something far more powerful, a biological shift. With time, inflammation fades, circulation improves, pain quiets, and nerves regain their strength. And it all begins with a simple, ancient root that modern science now recognizes as one of the most powerful allies your nervous system can have: Nerve recovery is not determined by a single supplement, a single meal, or a single doctor's visit. It is determined by the habits you repeat every day, because your nervous system is constantly adapting to the environment you create inside your body. Every choice you make sends a signal to your nerves, either telling them they are under attack or telling them it is finally safe to repair. This is not philosophy, it is biology, and the science behind it is both sobering and empowering. Your nerves are living tissue. They respond to inflammation, blood flow, nutrient availability, and chemical balance in real time. When daily habits keep inflammation high and blood sugar unstable, nerves stay locked in survival mode. In this state, repair shuts down. Research shows that chronic stress, poor diet, and sedentary behavior keep the nervous system flooded with inflammatory cytokines that block nerve regeneration. This means that even the best treatments fail if daily habits keep pulling nerves back into damage. One of the most powerful truths revealed by neuroscience is that nerves heal slowly, but they respond quickly to environmental change. Studies on nerve injury show that when harmful stimuli are removed, nerve signaling begins to normalize long before structural healing is complete. This explains why some people feel reduced, burning, or tingling within weeks of changing their habits, even though full nerve repair may take months. The nervous system recognizes safety before it completes healing. Blood sugar control is one of the most decisive daily habits influencing nerve recovery. Research consistently shows that stabilizing glucose levels reduces nerve pain, improves nerve conduction velocity, and slows progression of neuropathy. Even small improvements matter. Lowering post-meal glucose spikes by changing food timing, portion size, or food quality reduces oxidative stress almost immediately. This reduction allows nerves to shift energy away from defense and toward repair. Movement is another underestimated signal your nerves depend on. Gentle, consistent physical activity increases blood flow to peripheral nerves, delivering oxygen and nutrients essential for regeneration. Studies show that walking, stretching, and low-impact exercise increase nerve growth factor levels, chemicals that stimulate nerve repair and protect existing nerve fibers. Inactivity does the opposite. Prolonged sitting reduces circulation, increases insulin resistance, and accelerates nerve degeneration, particularly in the legs and feet. Sleep is where nerve repair is scheduled, and most people are starving their nervous system of it. During deep sleep, the brain clears inflammatory waste products and releases growth hormones that support tissue repair, including nerve tissue. Research shows that poor sleep increases pain sensitivity and reduces pain tolerance by altering how the brain processes nerve signals. This means that lack of sleep doesn't just worsen nerve damage, it amplifies how much that damage hurts. Nutrition is not just fuel, it is instruction. Vitamins such as B1, B6, and B12 are not optional for nerve health. They are essential for myelin formation, neurotransmitter production, and nerve signal transmission. Studies show deficiencies in these vitamins are strongly associated with neuropathy, even in people without diabetes. Daily habits that include nutrient-dense foods give nerves the raw materials they need to rebuild insulation and restore communication. Hydration also plays a role rarely discussed. Dehydration thickens blood, reducing circulation to the smallest vessels feeding your nerves. Poor hydration increases muscle cramping, nerve irritation, and fatigue. Even mild dehydration has been shown to increase perceived pain intensity. Something as simple as adequate daily water intake can measurably improve how nerves feel and function. Stress is one of the most toxic daily habits for nerve recovery. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol and adrenaline, chemicals designed for short-term survival, not long-term healing. Research shows elevated cortisol impairs nerve regeneration and worsens neuropathic pain by sensitizing pain pathways in the spinal cord and brain. This is why people often notice nerve pain flares during emotional stress. even when diet remains unchanged. Daily calming practices change this biology. Deep breathing, slow movement, prayer, meditation, or time in nature activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for repair and regeneration. Studies show parasympathetic activation reduces inflammation, improves blood flow, and lowers pain perception. This is not psychological relief. It is a measurable physiological shift that directly affects nerve health. Consistency is where most people fail, and it is where healing either happens or stops. Nerves do not respond to occasional good choices. They respond to patterns. Research shows intermittent healthy habits cannot override chronic exposure to harmful ones. But the reverse is also true. Small daily improvements repeated consistently compound into meaningful nerve recovery over time. One of the most hopeful findings in nerve research is that the nervous system retains plasticity well into old age. This means it can adapt, reroute, and repair longer than previously believed. Age slows healing, but it does not stop it. What stops it is continued exposure to the same damaging habits that caused the problem in the first place. Daily habits are not about perfection. They are about direction. Each day you reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, improve circulation, and calm the nervous system. You are creating an internal environment where nerves are allowed to heal. Each day you don't, you delay that process. This is why nerve recovery feels impossible for some people and achievable for others. The difference is not luck or genetics alone. It is what the nervous system experiences every single day. Your nerves are paying attention to how you eat, how you move, how you sleep, how you handle stress, and how consistently you support them. Healing does not arrive suddenly. It arrives quietly. One day the burning is less intense. Another day the numbness doesn't travel as far. Another day balance feels steadier. These are signs the nervous system is responding to a safer, more supportive environment. Your daily habits are not small. They are instructions written into your biology. When those instructions change, your nervous system changes with them. And when the signals finally tell your nerves they are no longer under attack, repair becomes not just possible, but inevitable.